When is walking away from a home purchase a smart decision? And when can it become an expensive mistake? There's a big difference between discovering something that gives you a legitimate reason to reconsider the purchase and simply changing your mind after your contractual protections have expired. That distinction matters once you're under contract. Being under contract doesn't mean you're automatically locked in no matter what happened, but it also doesn't mean you can simply just change your mind whenever you want. When you make an offer on a home, you're entering into a contract. And depending on the terms of that contract, you can have specific periods to investigate the property, your financing, the appraisal, and other important parts about the purchase. Those contingencies, they give you time to investigate the property and make sure that the purchase still makes sense. Take the inspection. You might discover that there's a roof issue, an electrical problem, drainage or plumbing concerns, or something else that wasn't obvious when you walked through the house. That doesn't automatically mean you should walk away. You can still negotiate with the seller, work through the issue, and decide whether the home still makes sense for you. The same applies to financing and appraisal. If your financing changes or the appraisal comes in differently than expected, your purchase may give you specific options. Your rights depend on the actual contract, the contingencies involved, the applicable deadlines, and what has already happened during the transaction. So don't assume that finding a problem automatically gives you the right to cancel. Know what your contract actually allows you to do. You don't need to find the perfect house. Almost every home has something that needs attention. What matters is whether you've discovered something that materially changes the decision. A significant repair that can change the economics of the purchase. Higher than expected insurance costs can change your monthly budget. Information in the disclosures that change how you view the property. And your due diligence can uncover conditions that weren't obvious during the showing. Here in East County, you want to look beyond the way a home feels when you first walk through it. You want to understand the condition of the property, what the disclosures are telling you, what your insurance is going to cost, and what the total cost of owning that home actually looks like. The goal isn't to find a house with zero problems. The goal is to understand which problems you can live with, which ones you can negotiate, and which ones should make you stop before you close escrow. Keep this in mind when you're under contract because it can make a big difference. Discovering a legitimate problem and simply getting cold feet are two totally different things. Once you've had the opportunity to investigate the property, and nothing significant has changed, getting nervous about the purchase is a different situation. Your contractual protections have specific terms and deadlines. They don't necessarily remain available throughout the entire transaction. And once those protections have expired or been removed, your position can be very, very different. That's why you want to deal with the important issues first, while you still have the contractual protection to do something about them. Whether it's the condition of the home, the insurance, your financing, or simply whether the numbers don't work for you. You want to know before you get to the finish line. And if you're unsure about what your contract allows you to do, talk with your real estate professional. If you're dealing with a legal question or a potential dispute, get appropriate legal advice. The important thing is to understand your position before making a decision that could have a financial consequence. So, if you're under contract and you're thinking about walking away, step back and ask 4 questions. First, did I discover something material that I did not know when I made the offer? Second, can that problem realistically be fixed, negotiated, or managed? Third, does this home still make financial sense based on what I know now? And fourth, what does my purchase contract actually allow me to do at this point? Those questions help separate a legitimate reason to reconsider the purchase from a simple buyer's remorse. Sometimes walking away is the right decision. If you discover something that fundamentally changes the deal, it's better to recognize that before you close than to spend years wishing you had paid closer attention. But walking away shouldn't be the emotional decision. It should be an informed one. The goal isn't to avoid walking away. It's to know that when you have a legitimate reason to do so and understand the consequences when you don't. A home purchase, it's a massive decision. Huge. You don't need to be afraid of walking away when the facts tell you that the purchase no longer makes sense. But you also don't want to walk away simply because you got nervous after your contractual protections have expired. Know what you're allowed to investigate, know your deadlines, and make the decision based on the facts, not just the emotions of the moment. Every purchase contract and situation is different. So this is general information, not legal advice. But if you're buying in East County, the smartest time to understand these things is before you write an offer, not after you're already in escrow. If this was helpful, subscribe for more local East County real estate insights. I share new videos each and every week. And if you have any questions about buying or selling in East County, leave it in the comments. I read and reply to every single one of them. I'm always interested in what people are asking. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.